Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we're going through the Sydney versus Geelong game in which Geelong squeaked over the line. It's probably the best way to say it. Sydney kicked 6 goals 5, Geelong kicked 5 goals 14. They should have won this game by about 30 or 40. They probably should have been up by about 8 goals at three-quarter time, and then Sydney wouldn't have had the urge to come back. I'm pretty sure Sydney kicked 3 goals to nothing in the last quarter. They might have even held Geelong goalless in the last quarter, or even scoreless in the last quarter. I just need to double check that for you guys quickly. But it was quite a game. In the last quarter, Geelong kicked a goal early to make it, so they kicked 1 goal 2 to 3 goals 1 in the last quarter. So they weren't as inaccurate in the last quarter, which probably helped them in the game because the first 3 quarters they were up by 14 points at three-quarter time, and it should have been more. Even if they kicked normally, which is 8 goals 8, just 50-50 accuracy, that would have been, 48 plus 8, 56 to 22. That would be ball game. You are not probably catching 34 points in a quarter in the men's, let alone the women's, where the scoring is a lot lower. But anyway, let's jump into this recap here. And Sophia Hurley's definitely one that we have to talk about, and I think it's hard to say that it's natural, if it's natural improvement that's occurring, or whether it's just a little bit of her stepping up to the role that's been given to her because we're seeing the Swans just be absolutely decimated. Because I can already tell you, if you haven't been keeping up, Laura Gardner's also out with injury. You can basically put her on season. There is no point in her returning for the last game of the year, I think, against Brisbane, because what's the point in that when the Swans are going to be sitting in 14th or 15th? And there'll be they can only get, the only movement that they'll really be wanting is to get better in their draft hand, which will be by losing. So why are you going to bring back your best player? Even that, her on about 80% or 90% fitness from, I think, a hand injury. So I just think that they'll put her on ice for the year. It's the best thing to do. She's cooked. Hurley as well. So Hurley, I think she has to take the mantle as that lead ball winner in the midfield now because Laura Gardner's out, which will mean that her midfield time is really, and I should have actually set this up prior because I need to actually grab up the CBAs here. 1 second. I think that this will mean that she gets a lot of CBAs here. If we go to here, you'll see, and you'll see her down at 39%, but the last couple games, you'll see 73 and 53. I really think that she's starting to get that midfield time, and if we look at the times where she hasn't had midfield time, it's been rounds 2, 4, and 5. If we just go here to Hurley here, and then we bring up her profile here, you'll see in rounds 2, 4, and 5, so this one here, 94. In rounds 4, she scored a 73, and then at rounds 5, she scored a 97. She's really one that's starting to, I think, get a rhythm here of a little bit of CBA time, and really starting to really motor. So I think that she's one that can really definitely take that next step. I think she's one that has the looks of a girl that can go sort of that 100 or 105 type, because she's got such a strong tackling base here. You can see it here. 16 tackles in a finals game. 8, 7, 9. She started the season 9. Here we go. This is what her stats are for the year. 7, 9, 5, 2, 7, 6, 9. That is massive. That's an average of 6.4 tackles. She averaged 7.5 tackles a game. I think she's one to take that next step in the midfield. I think the Swans' midfield next year is most likely going to be Gardner, Hurley, and then someone else. As well as having a lead ruckman next year is really going to help. So I just think that she's one that's probably going to average about 100, 105 maybe for the rest of the year, and can really be a girl that we pick up at 90 and try and say, oh, she's going to take the leap next year. Obviously is probably, I would suspect, going to now be a girl that is midfield only. I think there might have been a shout for her to be forward status, just because she's had, they don't work off CBAs, but she's definitely, even in this game, she definitely had some time in the forward half. It'll be interesting. It would have been interesting if they didn't have all the injuries, if she would have been forward based or not. But yeah, she's definitely one that I'm definitely keeping an eye on, one that will probably go down in the notes for 2025 for people to watch out for, because she's definitely one I think takes that natural progression, or whether it's I think it's going to be a bit of both natural progression as well, being giving the keys to the midfield a little bit more, because you can see last year as well that she wasn't really given the keys as much, which we'll get into in later videos, etc. Kennedy, 80, she was just doing her tackling best. She was putting a tag on Prusparkas, and it worked, and it got it. Prusparkas was not good at all. McCarthy, 66, 3 goals. She was amazing, and is probably the small forward of the future for the Swans. Mitchell, as a key defender, is starting to really improve, which is a good thing. Heads, as a winger, I don't like it. And yeah, I just want her back in the sort of half-back space. She's probably the Swans' best ball user, so just need to get her back into that half-back space, as well as a really good intercepting mark. She can be your third tall there. McAvoy, 60. McAvoy's probably the one that you almost want on the wing, as much or more so, because she's a little bit more contested based than the likes of Heads, and the Swans like to have someone like that in the sort of as that like other midfielder, like they've had Ham doing that a little bit this year. So McAvoy should probably be the one on the wing. Hamilton as the ruckman is just sort of until the year ends. She's going to be playing as we await for Moffat to be back next year. Collier as that sort of lockdown small is doing her job. 56, not really fancy relevant though. Stein, Smith, Privatelli as the leader forwards, and basically the one out option at the Swans. 50, just not fancy relevant. Lockland, probably her last year, I would suspect, or the last year of Maine playing in the best 22. Sergeant Williams, Tarrant as well. She's just your best. She's one of the better lockdown defenders in the whole comp as a tall. Hamilton, I'm intrigued to see how they play Hamilton now that, yes, Monham probably going to be back, but I don't think they'll go full blast Monham in the middle. So I think that means that Cynthia Hamilton probably has to play on ball, or Cooper does. So we'll see how that works out. O'Sullivan as well, 31. Grundon, 28. Cooper, 21. Just didn't get enough time in the middle, as simple as that, or on the ground in that sense. Hassinger and then Davies. Then we move over to Geelong, and you'll see here Kate Darby, 78. The ruckman, when you're basically not playing any other rucks, I mean, you're playing 3 part-timers, 3 ruck forwards, I would say. You're going to pretty much do as what she did. Parry, 76 as well. She dominated. Crockett Grills on a wing, got absolutely roasted. Absolutely roasted Ella Heads. So, yeah, that's why I would probably put Ella Heads back on the half-back flank. And then you have Webster as well, 69. You can just see, like we were referencing Daisy Darcy in the previous game review, Webster and her are pretty much going blow for blow. I think Daisy Darcy got 73 and Webster's going to go to 69. So I think they might have even matched each other in terms of the double round. I actually want to kind of check that a little bit. So let me just go Webster here. Doesn't show. Is it going to... So she scored in the end 88 plus 69, so that's 148, 157, and Daisy Darcy went and scored 154. So they went 3 points apart in the whole double week, and they've been doing that pretty much the whole time. So I think Webster might have a slight lead, but it's like 5 points or so. Maloney, 64, Emonson, 60, Darcy Maloney, 54, Nina Morrison, 52. I think that the anchor of the midfield in McDonald going out, I think it was Abby McDonald, has really sort of annoyed the makeup of the Geelong midfield a little bit. So Nina Morrison and also Georgie Prusparkas are really struggling to provide they can't really provide that defensive pressure that the likes of Abby McDonald can do, that all-rounder type game. So yeah, they're really struggling at the moment. Georgie Prusparkas 46. That's surprising, but definitely one to watch for next year because she'll be so unders. She's priced at like 65 at the moment. So even if she goes 100s or something like that, we're tracking it. It's only getting up to like 80 or something. Gunjaka, Smith, Cairns, Friswell as well, starting to have some poor games on the wing. But yeah, never really liked her, to be honest, as I thought she'd have some off games. And I think this double game week, I don't think she's put out too many good scores. 72 and 6 and 33, 59 for the year. She's starting to calm down a little bit. Scott, Bragg, Kennedy, Rankin, Kearney, and Thorne. And that pretty much is the video. They're going through the Sydney versus GWS. Sorry, I meant Geelong. Geelong Cats game in which Geelong survived a late scare from the Swans. Pretty sure the Swans kicked a goal with about 2 or 3 minutes to go or something like that. No, it actually was with like 10 minutes to go, and they just couldn't find the winning goal there. The Swans, Lachlan missed a goal shout with about, I would think, maybe 3 or 4 minutes to go, something like that. It was actually with about 6 minutes to go that she missed it. 6 minutes time on, so probably about 4.5 minutes to go with actual time. But anyway, the Swans end up losing it. If you did enjoy, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and I'll see you guys in the next recap. Bye, guys.